Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a massive reality check for enterprise leaders, the incredibly high stakes of digital transformation. Look, everyone says they're going digital, right? But the velocity of change we are experiencing today, it's completely unprecedented. We are operating in a highly volatile environment. Your modern customer is younger, they are incredibly digitally savvy, and honestly, they are relentlessly demanding. They expect absolutely seamless, instantaneous experiences. And if you're sitting there thinking digital transformation just means upgrading your software and keeping business as usual, well, you're stepping into a massive trap.
You see, the whole right the first time approach, it just doesn't work anymore. The major friction point in the enterprise landscape today is that too many organizations still treat digital transformation like a traditional IT support function. They're aiming for this flawless, multi-year rollout. But here's the pragmatic truth. Digital business is fundamentally different from traditional business. If you cling to the perfectionism of legacy models, you are simply moving too slow. You're going to lose unrecoverable ground to digital natives who are agile, iterative, and totally comfortable with trial and error. We literally have to stop viewing digital as just a tech upgrade and start mastering it as a fundamental business overhaul.
So, to pull off that overhaul, we're going to walk through a highly practical, execution-focused playbook. It breaks down into 5 actionable pillars: rethinking business models, obsessing over outcomes, harnessing data, adopting an integrated approach, and executing a 2-speed strategy. Let's jump right into the first pillar.
Pillar number 1, rethink your business model. And more specifically, we need to talk about embracing disintermediation.
Here's the friction. Traditional industry value chains are being completely disintermediated. Your end customer, who historically might have been 3 or 4 steps removed from your core enterprise, now expects to interact with you directly. To actually win here, you have to radically rethink your products, your pricing, and your touchpoints. You cannot rely on incremental thinking anymore. That fear-based approach of just trying to protect your existing revenue channels. You've got to embrace digital disruption. You have to let go of the worry that a brand new digital service line might cannibalize your legacy revenue.
Because here is the stark reality. If you aren't ready to cannibalize a portion of your own business for long-term benefit, a competitor is going to come right past and cannibalize your market share for you. You have to disrupt yourself before the market does it for you. It's really that simple.
Which brings us to our second pillar: obsess over customer outcomes and anchor entirely on KPIs. Have you ever watched a digital initiative devolve into one of those massive, never-ending projects that totally loses sight of what it originally set out to achieve? We see it constantly. So the strategic solution here is a rigorous 3-step blueprint. First, define your business KPIs directly from your strategic priorities. Think things like increasing your digital channel mix, upselling, or boosting customer retention. Second, identify the specific customer pain points that directly relate to those priorities. And third, solve those exact pain points to actually move the needle. You absolutely must anchor your entire transformation program strictly to these metrics.
Keeping a really sharp eye on business and customer outcomes guarantees that you're actually solving the right problems. Remember, success is not measured by how many shiny new features you deployed. It's measured by whether solving a specific customer pain point demonstrably moved your core business KPI. If it didn't move the metric, it was just noise. Moving right along to pillar 3, harness data for decisions. This is genuinely the secret sauce of digital optimization. But here is a massive point of friction. Research shows that 90% of corporate strategies explicitly mention analytics as an essential competency. Yet the execution reality is pretty grim. 90% or more of the time and money in data initiatives is totally wasted just preparing data and dumping it into massive data lakes. Only 10% is actually spent drawing out insights and making decisions. It's like we're building these massive, beautiful libraries, but never actually bothering to read the books to make a choice. To fix this, you've got to adopt a reversed data blueprint. If you want algorithmic decision-making to actually beat out human discretion, reverse your entire approach. Do not collect data and then sit around wondering what to do with it. Figure out the exact business decision you want to make first. Then, collect the specific, tailored data required to inform that single decision, anchoring it right back to your core KPIs. Think of this as the central nervous system of your optimization. Suddenly, your data management isn't some sprawling mess. It's highly focused, manageable, and it is directly driving real business value. That hyper-focused approach perfectly sets up pillar 4, adopt an integrated approach and absolutely shatter your legacy silos. The reality is large enterprises are often shackled by siloed structures that just suffocate interdisciplinary digital programs.
Digital, by its very nature, cuts across every single department. So the strategic solution here is aligned autonomy. This means you need to restructure your operating model to empower cross-functional teams. Give them end-to-end ownership of the outcomes. They shouldn't have to wait for approvals from 3 disconnected departments just to push a software update that improves the customer journey. You give them the autonomy to make swift decisions while ensuring they remain perfectly aligned with your overarching business goals.
Look at the most successful consumer internet companies in the world right now. They prove this works every single day by utilizing the product manager as the ultimate integrator and connector. They empower these leaders with true end-to-end accountability. The product manager is the one bringing disparate technological and business capabilities together to achieve those outcomes, acting as the critical bridge across those old legacy silos.
Finally, we arrive at our 5th pillar, the 2-speed implementation strategy, which is all about agile execution. Look, going for a big bang complete system overhaul, that is a total recipe for disaster. But on the flip side, just executing narrow, ad hoc use cases only gives you really isolated impact. So you need 2 speeds running simultaneously. Speed 1 is high-speed agile. You're focusing on high-impact use cases that solve the most pressing business problems today. Speed 2 is foundation building. This is happening in the background, where you're continuously leveraging those early wins to develop and scale your overarching data and tech platforms. Because frankly, adapting multi-year fixed business strategies is a kiss of death. In a world where customer needs and technologies are literally shifting under our feet every single day, rigid plans are fatal. Your business strategy has to be entirely agile, driven by the real-world execution experience that you gain during those 2-speed implementation cycles. You learn, you adapt, and you execute again. So let's bring this all together into the core digital mandate. Treating digital transformation as just some technology upgrade, an IT project relegated to the basement, is guaranteed to fail. True digital business requires an end-to-end business transformation. Yes, it starts with a compelling human-centric vision, but it absolutely demands smart, agile, and obsessive execution. When you rethink the model, anchor on your KPIs, reverse your data strategy, shatter those silos, and execute at 2 speeds, you aren't just updating software. You are building a massive, highly defensible competitive advantage.
I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. Go look at your current initiatives, look at your budgets, and honestly ask your leadership team, are you truly transforming your business model, or are you just updating your IT? Because if it's the latter, it is time to rethink your strategy and put this playbook into action immediately. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.